All right, so I think we will start slowly because it's already 5 minutes past 3. So if somebody join us later, they can just follow what is happening. So good afternoon, everyone. And we are delighted to have you join us for this exciting series of virtual webinars on navigating Horizon Europe's global opportunities. My name is Tadas Tumėnas, and I'm the head of the Lithuanian RDI Liaison office in Brussels. And this is already the second event in our webinar series, organized in collaboration with the NCBR office in Brussels, the Slovenian Business and Research Association, Eötvös Loránd University, and Corvinus University of Budapest. And these webinars are designed to provide some insights into international collaboration opportunities within Horizon Europe. And today, of course, we will focus on Canada. And the ones who missed our first webinar, which was actually focusing on South Korea, you should find the recording on our website. So a quick reminder also that we still have our third webinar approaching, and it will focus on collaboration with African partners. And it is scheduled for 6th of March. So we would like to encourage you to register and join us to explore potential partnership with Africa. Now, before introducing today's main speaker, I would like to hand over the floor to my colleagues and continue our long-standing tradition of welcoming participants in our mother tongues. So, Orsolya, please, the floor is yours.
Hello everyone, my name is Orsolya Lugmaier and I represent two Hungarian universities from Budapest, Eötvös University and Corvinus University of Budapest. And we hope that this presentation is really timely before the publication of the next working program. So we hope that you find informative information, useful information to find new collaborations and new partners for your project. Now back to Hungarian. Szeretettel üdvözlöm Önöket. Lugmaier Orsolyának hívnak, a budapesti Corvinus Egyetemet és az Eötvös Loránd Egyetemet képviselem itt Brüsszelben. Örülünk, hogy ilyen sokan regisztráltak, és nagyon reméljük, hogy hasznos információkat találnak, majd hallgathatnak Tamarától, a kanadai partnerekről. Ugye hamarosan meghirdetésre kerülnek a 2025-ös munkaprogramok, úgyhogy ez egy olyan időszerű prezentáció arra, hogy tanuljanak, vagy új információkat szerezzenek a különböző csatornákról. Back to English, I give the floor to Maciej.
Good afternoon to all participants. My name is Maciej Zdanovic. I'm an EU policy advisor at the Polish National Center for Research and Development office in Brussels, and I have the pleasure to welcome you to today's important meeting on navigating Horizon Europe's global opportunities, which Poland supports, and we support the strengthening research and development cooperation between European Union and Canada under the Horizon Europe framework. And we hope to present you this very interesting and promising cooperation today. And now I will address a few words in Polish. Dzień dobry Państwu, nazywam się Maciej Zdanowicz, reprezentuję Polskie Biuro NCBR, Narodowego Centrum Badań i Rozwoju w Brukseli. Dzisiaj mamy przyjemność zaprosić Państwa na spotkanie dotyczące współpracy krajów UE w ramach Horyzontu Europa z krajami spoza UE. Dzisiaj skupimy swoją uwagę na współpracy z Kanadą i możliwościach współpracy z Kanadą w ramach Horyzontu Europa filaru drugiego. Now I will again speak in English. So once again, I extend my warmest welcome to all of you, and I look forward to engaging discussion and meaningful outcomes that will benefit Europe and Canada. Thank you. Now I will pass the floor to Aine.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Agne Drumelytė. I work as a policy analyst at the Lithuanian RDI Liaison office, LINO. And just like all the colleagues from the other offices, I am excited to welcome you all to this webinar, where we will discuss the cooperation opportunities with Canada. And now I will say a few words in Lithuanian. Sveiki visi prisijungę iš Lietuvos. Sveikinu LINO biuro ir kolegų vardu jūs visus dalyvaujančius šiame webinare. Mes tikimės, kad bus jums aktualu ir įdomu informacija, kurią šiandien išgirsite, ir kviečiam po pagrindinės prezentacijos drąsiai klausti savo klausimų. Dabar aš vėl kalbėsiu angliškai. So I have switched back to English, and now I would like to hand over back to Tadas, the moderator.
Thank you very much. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you for this introduction. And now I think we need to move forward, and I would like to introduce our main speaker for today's event. So it's Tamara Sohn. She is NCP coordinator at the Federal Government Department of Innovation, Science, and Economic Development. So Tamara, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm speaking to you from Ottawa, Canada, where it is -16, and we're getting I think 40 centimeters of snow tonight. So winter is here, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. My team was the team responsible for negotiating with the European Commission to associate to Horizon Europe, and I'm very pleased to be part of the Secretariat as the NCP coordinator. And I'll be talking to you today a little bit about Canada's science and technology innovation, and what we can bring to Horizon Europe. And we're very excited to be the opportunity to expand our networks into other areas in Europe. Next slide, please. So the EU is Canada's second most important trading partner after, of course, the US, and is a priority partner for Canada in science, technology, and innovation. Canadians in general were seen as trusted and like-minded partners, easy to collaborate with. We share a close strategic partnership based on a long history of close cooperation dating back all the way to 1959 under the Agreement for Cooperation in the Peaceful Uses of Atomic Energy. We've had excellent cooperation in many areas with EU partners, including AI, quantum, smart cities, health, bioeconomy, aerospace, oceans, Arctic research, raw materials, agriculture, and of course, research and mobility. The EU research program is vitally important for Canada. And in fact, 7 of Canada's top 10 intensive research collaboration partners are within the European research area. The United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Spain, and Switzerland. We also have the 1996 Canada-EU Agreement for Scientific and Technological Cooperation that allows for easy flow of information and does not provide funds. That's why we've taken the choice to associate to Horizon Europe. Next slide, please. Now I'll talk a little very briefly about Horizon Europe. Most people on the call know about this very wide-reaching program, but it's been going on since the 80s. The current iteration is approximately 95.5 billion euros, includes the 27 EU member states, 19 associated countries, of which Canada is now part, and we're very excited to be part of the program. we've associated only to Pillar 2 of the program. And important to note that Canada is, and I'll talking a little bit about this more, we're bringing our own funding to support Canadians in this program. Next slide, please. So I'll go very briefly on this slide. So effectively for Pillar 1, nothing has changed. Canadians can still participate under Pillar 1 under most programs for research mobility, but in general, we'll need to bring our own funding through Canadian sources for the program. Pillar 3, generally it's usually through EIC Pathfinder, in some cases the Accelerator Open Grants. Canadians can participate, but in general, it's closed to Canadians. But Pillar 2, we're now an associate country. All Canadians can apply. And under the 6 clusters, as well as the missions and partnerships. Next slide, please. So Canada's been very, very active in this program, and all Canadians are eligible, just small, big businesses, universities, researchers, everyone is eligible. And as a result, we bring a big diversity to consortium because of our diverse country. So there's high participation in the program. We have been participating in the program since it started in 1984. We have actively participated even though we were a non-associated international partner. As it always has been a very open program, and we've always appreciated that. One of the reasons why we chose to associate to it. So our project call success rate is higher than the average. So we're generally about 21.2 versus the 17% average. So in general, we're sought out. In general, we're sought out as a trusted, reliable, and like-minded partner with general shared priorities. So for example, in the previous framework program, we're the 3rd most active non-European partner behind US and China out of 24 non-associated non-EU countries, where we counted to close to 10% of applications for grants and had a success rate of 18.7 versus the average, which is higher than the average success rate of 17%. In the current program, our success rate is 21.2, but we're hoping that this will increase as we as our association to the program continues, because we've only signed the agreement back in July, so there was some Canadian hesitation on applying to the program until we've signed the agreement. So we're hoping for the 2025 calls that there'll be more Canadians applying to the program. But even the areas where we're not associated, for example, Pillar 1, we have there's been a huge amount of participation with in research mobility in particular. The main themes under Pillar 2 where we are most successful is health, climate, transport, and food. And most of those are under researchers. 90% are researchers and academics, and 10% are for profit, like hydroelectric, ballad power systems, and others. So next slide, please. What's the current status? Well, as I mentioned, on July 3rd, the Government of Canada and the European Union, we signed the agreement allowing our association to the program. We're going to allocate 99.3 million euros, which, depending on the day, is 147 million Canadian dollars over 4 years to fund Canada's association with Horizon Europe. Now, I want to emphasize that the funding that the Canadian government is giving to the European Union does not impact others' pot, or the pot for the member states. This is our own pot for Canadians, and so don't worry about about that. You know, if a Canadian is part of your consortium, it doesn't mean that there's less money for you. It just means that there's more money in general. Canadian researchers, we can apply, and innovators, we can apply and lead consortium, although we've been telling our stakeholders generally to not lead unless you've been part of the program previously, because it's a huge undertaking to lead, but now we have the ability to do that. And we can also participate in the missions and partnerships, specifically institutionalized partnerships and co-program partnerships. We also, there's some co-funded partnerships we're participating in, but not all of them. Next slide, please. So I'm sure most of you already know this, but why would you want to apply to Horizon Europe? There's a lot of really good reasons. You can enhance your network, enhance it with Canadians. We have a lot of interesting research, a lot of interesting things going on in Canada, and depending on the the geopolitical situation, access to the North American consumer base. It allows new team members, visibility, internationalization, enhancing your knowledge, and of course, last but not least, funding. So we're very excited to be working more closely with our European partners. Next slide, please. So most people know this already, but how do you find partners and collaborators? Well, using your own network, if you want to find Canadian partners, a really good way to do that is to either reach out to myself or the other Canadian national contact points, of which I'll be showing in the next slide very shortly. If there is a specific call that you are in, it'd be, the more specific you are, the easier it is for us to help you. If you already have a call that you're looking, or you have a consortium you've built and you're looking for a specific partner or an area of research that you're hoping a Canadian can fill, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or my Canadian counterparts, and we'd be more than happy to help find a Canadian partner for your consortium. Next slide, please. So again, our national contact points, we've created a network to support Canadians finding partners, managing the program, because again, we're very new to the association. There's a lot of researchers and some companies are familiar with the program, but there are a lot of Canadians that are not. So a lot of what I've been doing is letting people know about the opportunities available to them. Next slide, please. So here's our Canadian NCPs. I won't read out the list, but this slide will be available, and the next slide as well will be available subsequent to. So these are the Canadian NCPs for the different clusters. As you can see, we have at least one NCP for every cluster. Next slide, please. So we have a Canadian dedicated webpage through my department's website, and this is providing Canadians information about the program. So I'm sure your national governments have their own, but that's what we've done. If you have any questions or want to be part of our newsletter to find out what's going on in Canada, you can contact Horizon Europe at ised-esed.gc.ca to find out more information. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this overview. And now it's the time for our participants to ask the questions. So if somebody has a question, don't hesitate to ask them in the chat. For the time being, I don't see any, but actually, I have a question on my own, so I'm going to use this privilege, to ask the questions. My question is, you mentioned in the slides your previous excellent cooperation in several areas. And my question is, are these also your priority areas? Or if not, what are your priorities then in the Horizon Europe?
Generally, those are our priority areas because those are generally our areas of expertise. But at the same time, we're hoping to expand our expertise in other areas. So I don't want to limit it or narrow. So if there are other areas that are of interest, because there are many areas where Canadians do have expertise that aren't listed in that list. So, and even in an area like that's a little more ephemeral, like cluster 2 or even 3 with border security. We do have a border with the United States and border technology. We're very interested in looking into that more. So, yes.
So understand that basically you are open to different topics and a different type of collaboration, despite, the fact that you mentioned a couple of them, but, there is always new things available,
Exactly.
as usual. I see there is a question in the chat. So the question is, do you have national network in research management that supports researchers, especially in leading consortia?
We don't have a national, again, because we're very new to the Horizon Europe program. So we don't have a national network for research that support researchers for Horizon Europe or leading consortia, where there are networks that support research administrators through universities in Canada, both in English and in French, because we have both languages, and as well there's other there's we call them the tri-agencies for health research, science, like hard science research and soft science research. So National Research Council of Canada and the Social Science Research Council.
So basically, if you are a Canadian researcher, and if you want to apply to Horizon Europe, your main support comes from your side, from NCPs, right? So
Yes.
not from basically university as such, but mainly from your side.
Yes, we are trying to provide information and education to those research administrators so that they are able to support support their own, as it were. But again, it's so new for us, and sort of trying to figure out where the problems are and where the roadblocks are. It's like you can make assumptions, but until you've been through the process, you don't know.
All right, I see. I see somebody is raising hand as well. Maybe I will give the floor. Victoria, could you introduce yourself and ask your question?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Victoria Zupan from the University of Pannonia from Hungary. And actually, it's not a question, it's an invitation, because we would like to organize with LINO, I hope, together this matchmaking event in Brussels, end of April. And we would like to invite you or, of course, other researchers. Of course, it will be a face-to-face event, but you can join us online as well. So it depends, of course, on your availability, but we are open for this hybrid section as well. So I'm going to send you this invitation, if you don't mind, and please share it with your colleagues and researchers who might be interested.
I'd be happy to share that with her. I don't know if I'm available to attend in person or virtually. It depends on the timing, because I've got some travel at the end of April, but I think more than happy to share that with our networks, and looking forward to matchmaking and networking with researchers in your country.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you very much for this intervention. I see Maciej is raising his hand. Maciej, please.
Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. I have two questions. First one is still around searching for partners. And thank you for sharing this list and context, because it's quite important, and I recommend to any interested person in contacting and reaching out to your researchers to write to the coordinators responsible for the clusters. But I have also a question that when we searching for partners, and we might also contact you, because before building consortia, sometimes within the under the Horizon Europe or under concrete calls, sometimes there are some pre-accelerating consortia or calls needed to build a common trust, to exchange the experience before building a bigger consortium. Are you recommending also the partners for other type related to Horizon Europe pre-accelerating program? Because, for example, in Poland, we have InnoGlobal program. And I know that some partners are using this type of cooperation to build their experience and network before they will apply for the Horizon Europe funds. And my second question, before you answer, is related to the study visits. And thank you, Victoria, for this for your question. Are you organizing from time to time the study visits of your entrepreneurs or researchers to Brussels, for example? And then we might also like co-organize this kind of a brokerage meeting or study visit.
That would be great, Maciej. Thank you. That would be great. Yes.
So the first part of your question, in terms of, so again, we're very new to association. So we don't have the, like, we're still sort of figuring out our footing. We don't have an established network or established programs to create a consortium even before the calls are announced. Bear in mind, it was only July that we officially signed up. So this is just very new to us. So we mostly we're looking to our European partners to help us figure it out, because previously it would be more of a situation of someone would come to us, or it would be a researcher who already had contacts in Europe. For a Canadian researcher who had already contacts in Europe would be like, hey, I know it'd be like, hey, we're working on this project. You want to join us? And that's how it would happen. But the proactiveness is still very, very new for us. So right now we're still sort of figuring things out, and we're seeing it as a bit of a pilot project and trying to pivot and move as necessary, but trying to figure things out. In terms of brokerage events, we're planning on some brokerage events targeted and open to others, but again, bearing in mind distance and time zones. What we are encouraging is going to suggest to people to attend the or participate in the EU brokerage events that they're going to be organizing as a starting point. And if other countries like Victoria mentioned are planning on organizing their own brokerage events, of course, we'll let our stakeholders know, and hopefully they can attend. It depending on many factors, but the main issue, especially if it's the distance, travel time, and Canada has 6 time zones, right? And so while it's 9:30 right now in Ottawa, it's 6:30 in Vancouver. So that can be a challenge for some as well.
Yeah, indeed. There was a question about the challenges, so I think you already touched upon a little bit what are the main challenges for Canadian researchers that want to apply for Horizon Europe funding. So I guess a couple of them were mentioned as time zones and the distance. If there are any, I think you also mentioned that, you are still trying to find your way in the program. You need also
trying to find our way and trying to and there's a lot, there's some keenness of some of our researchers wanting to lead a consortium, but without having had any experience in the program. And so we're just saying attends, wait. You know, maybe be part of a proposal first and see, you know, even as a project lead or you know, leading a section of it, being the consortium lead is a huge undertaking. And so I think if you don't have any experience, it's sort of leverage the experience of others so that you can learn. And I don't think you're less likely, it's my understanding that the evaluators might look negatively on a consortium that is led by a Canadian without any previous experience in the program.
Actually, we have a related question, you know, to that.
Yeah.
Does Canada have a national funding instrument which is similar to Pillar 2 in Horizon Europe? So, for example, do researchers have an experience in applying for these type of collaborative research projects, or will this be a cultural change with the association to the Horizon Europe?
We don't, one of the reasons why we've signed up for Horizon Europe is we don't have anything and as bureaucratic as the Horizon Europe program. There was a previous, there hasn't been a program that everyone can apply to. It would be for startups, for small, medium enterprises, for researchers, but something that anyone can apply to is very new to us. And so it depends. There are some entities, some especially research institutions, who are very familiar with applying and grants and all of that, very familiar, very comfortable with writing proposals. Others may be less so.
Yeah, like everywhere, I guess. We have also quite a technical question. I don't know if you can answer this. What are the minimum requirements for startup to be considered as a partner in the consortia with other company from Europe? I don't know if there is any requirement for that.
There isn't a requirement. Basically, if you're a Canadian entity, you can apply. You can apply as an individual if someone wants you. If you have a certain expertise, there's no requirement in that sense.
Indeed. So thanks a lot. And now I see Orsoya raising her hand. So Orsoya, please.
Yes, thank you. My question is related about this newly entered feeling of the program. Do you plan to support nationally to your researchers, or do you have any support to entering in network, for example, EARMA network that provides really good knowledge exchange platforms for researchers and research management? Do you have any policy additionally to the participation of the Horizon Europe Pillar 2 programs?
So the Social Sciences and Humanities Research entity is providing grants to Canadians to participate in Horizon Europe, and mostly a grant to travel to Europe, find partners, meet with others. I haven't heard anything about the other tri-agencies, but I know that they're looking into other opportunities. But as far as my department and we're concerned, again, we're focused on the Horizon, just our association to the program, managing our association, because remember, we're also attending all the program committee meetings. We're also responsible for responding to questions where there's a lot of different aspects that we're learning about as we're going. So I think it may be something that we may consider for FP10 for our researchers. But again, it's hard to know until you've done it what you need.
Thank you very much. So I'm looking in the chat if there are any more questions. For the time being, it's quiet. So I think we tackled most of it. So I will count till 3 if there are no more questions. So then we will thank our speaker. And yeah, so 1, 2, 3, no more questions. I guess, we would like, first of all, to thank you for this clear explanation, and how Canada can participate. And thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate your engagement and this discussion. So again, special thanks to our speaker. And we hope this session has provided valuable insights and inspired perhaps new opportunities for collaboration. So the presentation will be shared with you, with the attendees. You will find it. Also, you will find the recording of this event for the ones who were not able to participate. And don't forget to join us for the next webinar on the 6th of March, focusing on collaboration with African partners. So wishing you all a great day, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate the
Thank you.
invitation.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
goodbye.
Bye.